Hey, what's up, guys, and a very happy Saturday. It is officially Saturday morning. We are now fully into our Fox 54 weather impact alert day. I wanted to do a little bit of a Facebook Live this morning just to kind of supplement all of the really great things that meteorologist Emily Owen has been doing this morning. My phone's ringing. I have no idea who that is calling me. It says it's out of Huntsville, but we can get to them a little bit later. Anyway, I just wanted to do a quick little update for you this morning. I kind of wanted to talk about what we're seeing across the Tennessee Valley. Maybe you've seen meteorologist Emily Owen doing some things on Fox 54 and on Fox 54 Plus. But I also just kind of wanted to do a little bit of a Facebook Live just to give you a little update of what's going on across the Tennessee Valley. We've seen a mixed bag of precipitation across the Tennessee Valley. I think I have this radar on a loop, as a matter of fact. If I go back and play this, I can attempt to show you that. So I do have this radar on a loop. Maybe I will have this radar on a loop. There we go. So radar loop over the last hour or so, not really picking up on, okay, it's not going to loop. That's fine. Anywho, current radar across the Tennessee Valley. We'll just go with the current radar. Picking up on a little bit of snow, maybe a little bit of sleet and freezing rain thrown into the mix as well. So that's something we're going to continue to pay attention to. I know a lot of the roads are slick in different locations across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. I believe a good chunk of 565 in Madison is officially closed. I know the Parkway's been closed. The Parkway has been closed for the last couple of hours at this point. Green Mountain, Bankhead, I know a lot of those roads are also closed because we are talking about some slick spots. And listen, the slick spots are to be expected across the Tennessee Valley. Everything that we are getting so far this morning is 150% expected. We knew exactly what was going to happen this morning. And that's kind of what's happening. Justin says, are we going to make it to church in the morning in South Huntsville? Radar doesn't work. Time to go home and go back to bed. I got the radar working. Are you going to make it to church in the morning in South Huntsville? Honestly, oh, by the way, in case you're curious, I have switched the water cup out for a coffee mug, of course, because it's early. I do actually think that you will make it to church in the morning. And we're going to talk about this here in just a couple of minutes, how we're going to begin to see a little bit of a transition over from the sleet, freezing rain, and even a little bit of snow that we've seen this morning across the Tennessee Valley. We're going to begin to see that transition over to a little bit of liquid rain, in case anybody's curious and wanted to know who was calling me. It was the vet to remind me that my dog gets a shot next week. That seems pretty low on the priority list right now. As the temperatures begin to climb, we're going to begin to see a transition over to more of a liquid precipitation. And this is a very roundabout way of answering your question, Justin. All that to say is when we see the transition to liquid rain, it's going to stay rain, especially in South Huntsville. So honestly, I think you'll be fine getting to church in the morning. 11 a.m. live Habit game versus the Ice Bears on the Parkway. Honestly, I'd watch that. I think that'd be fun. I believe they are actually playing in Fayetteville today, which I actually think that game has been moved up to 11 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I can't remember which. Anywho, live look at the radar. Picking up on a little bit of snow. And honestly, I'm not 100% sure if I believe that all of this is falling as snow. So here's what I want to go in and do. We are looking at the Huntsville radar right now. What I would like to do is actually look at the Columbus radar, which still picks up on a little bit of snow across northwest Alabama. And it looks like that's where most of the precipitation is falling. Maybe even some of us are getting a little bit of a break this morning. But otherwise, we are talking about kind of a mixed bag of precipitation. And we're going to continue to talk about this mixed bag of precipitation for the next couple of hours until we kind of see that hard changeover into a little bit of sleet and freezing rain. What would be incredibly helpful for me is if y'all would tell me where you are and then follow that up very quickly with what exactly is happening. For example, Steve says, all sleet here in South Lawrenceburg. hanging out in Giles County, along the Giles County line. That is actually very helpful, Steve, because as you can kind of see here, this is picking up on trying to say that it's snowing in that neck of the woods, and it is definitely not. I was wondering the same thing, but in Decatur. In Decatur, yes, I do believe you would probably make it to church in the morning. Again, we're going to begin to see a transition over to rain. That's going to thaw things out. So I think there's a really good chance you'll make it to church in the morning. Morning, Jordan. Are you expecting the roads to be pretty bad Monday morning? Now that is the $1 million question, isn't it, Jared? There is a chance that the roads are going to be bad Monday morning, and we're going to get to this. There is a chance that things are going to flash freeze late Sunday night and then early into Monday morning. So whatever hasn't dried through the evening on Sunday is going to freeze. So we're going to have some black ice problems on Monday morning. It's just a matter of how widespread are the black ice problems going to be. And as long as you're here, Jared, I would really like to know what the neighborhood looks like. I pre-treated my driveway, so I like to think my driveway is probably not a sheet of ice, but I would like to know how the rest of the neighborhood looks as long as you're here. But don't leave. I mean, if you're on your phone, take your phone with you. Light sleet in Hazel Green, says Beth. Thank you so much for that, Beth. And if anybody has the ability to send any photos, that would be great. I think you can put photos in the comment section. At least I hope you can. Clearing in New Hope, says Darren. All sleet and Tony. Good morning from Alicia here in Huntsville on Montesano. That's right, you are on Montesano. When I ran the dogs outside. Ran the dogs this morning. Boy, you are dedicated to the cause. Okay, meteorologist Emily Owen will have a live update at 10, so I should probably attempt to move on here so we can discuss other things. And also, Alicia, is any of the sleet or anything accumulating or anything like that up on Montesano? I'd be curious to know if anything exciting is happening on Montesano. I also want you guys to know that I am streaming this in a couple of different places. Not only is it streaming here on my Fox 50 or on my Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman page, which is where I see all of the comments, but it is also streaming on the Fox 54 Facebook page. I do not see the comments as they're coming in on the Fox 54 page. So if you are commenting on that page, trust me, I will get to those comments after the fact. I see the comments on my Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman side. Now, this is a massive storm, and meteorologist Emily Owen's been showing you this through the course of the morning. This is an insanely large storm. Look at this. We're talking about snow, sleet, and freezing rain still all the way back across Texas and Oklahoma, heading into Louisiana, Arkansas, up into Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, and then, of course, in Alabama. And we're just kind of on the southern fringe of all of this. Literally just kind of on the southern fringe of what is proving to be a massive storm. None of us wanted to stay out. Nothing here. Thank you. In our neighborhood, the roads are wet. Thanks, Jared. I appreciate that. It's very useful information. This is a massive system that is impacting a large chunk of the country. And a little bit later on this afternoon, I'll show you airport maps. I'm really interested to show you airport maps just because I anticipate delays across the country as planes go to and fro. And as a matter of fact, coming up at 10 o'clock on Fox 54 News, meteorologist Emily Owen is going to speak with somebody at Hartsfield Jackson. I'm kind of excited about that, so we can get a little bit of information as to what's going on over in Atlanta. Current temperatures across the Tennessee Valley, kind of a hodgepodge, depends on your location. Lower 20s over in northwest Alabama, where they have seen more frozen precipitation. More frozen precipitation equals colder air. Evaporative cooling is going to play a little bit into that. So they're cold over in northwest Alabama. 24 degrees right now in Huntsville. We're just kind of smack in the middle of it. 30 degrees right now in Coleman. Now, I can tell you that temperatures are not climbing as quickly this morning as we kind of thought they would be. But at the same time, I still anticipated them being below freezing. It's not even 10 o'clock yet. Kind of figured they'd still be below freezing at this point in the morning. So while these numbers are a couple of degrees cooler than I thought they would be, they're not too much cooler. And we are, in some cases, above freezing over in northeast Alabama. Fort Payne, good morning, sitting at 33 degrees. Albertville sitting at 32. Coleman sitting again at 30. Flo says, my Great Pyrenees running and playing. You know what? I would not be surprised. 10 degrees colder in Huntsville than in Rainsville, sitting at 24 34. Yeah, and again, it just kind of is very dependent, Skeeter, on how much frozen precipitation. Those of us that have seen frozen precipitation are going to be a little bit colder. Fox 54 News commented, slick roads with cars sliding in Providence. I actually have a video of the cars sliding in Providence, and we'll get to that. We've talked about this a lot, so I'm only going to stick with this for just a couple of seconds. Ice storm warning in effect for northwest Alabama. Everybody else under a winter weather advisory, with the exception of Giles County up in southern Middle Tennessee. We have beat that to death. We have seen those. Now, this is really important. This is really the graphic that I was really excited to show you. Current road conditions across the Tennessee Valley, getting into the very icy category here across northwest Alabama. Lauderdale, Colbert, Franklin County, Lawrence County, northern Morgan County, right around Decatur, we're talking about icy roads. Limestone, portions of Madison County, talking about icy roads. Notice here in Madison County, kind of the dividing line is 565. 565 east and westbound is closed out in Madison. So you should not be out and about anyway. But 565 is closed out in Madison. Space and Rocket Center is closed today. Sleeting in Elkmont. Thank you so much, Don. Greatly appreciate that. Now, once you get south of 565, the roads are kind of this weird combination of icy and wet. Look at this. Most of Morgan County reporting icy or wet roadways. Hey, from Newmarket. Hey, Joy. I hope you're doing well. Newmarket, home of the world's best barbecue. I'm sure they're closed today. As a matter of fact, I think I saw a thing that said that they were going to be closed today. Coleman County, just talking about wet roads. And then you kind of get to Jackson and DeKalb counties where we're talking about icy/snowy roads. And I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if they've seen a little bit of snow up in northern Jackson County there, north of Scottsboro, heading into DeKalb County. We're talking about some wet or moderately icy roads. Up across southern Middle Tennessee, Giles and Lincoln counties reporting snow-covered roads. I would anticipate that maybe snow is being misinterpreted for what I imagine is probably sleet-covered roads. I have a friend in Fayetteville that said it was sleeting pretty heavily up there this morning, but that they are treating the roads up in southern Middle Tennessee. So this is just kind of a current look of road conditions. Conditions definitely the worst over in northwest Alabama, but that is everything we expected this morning. And I do anticipate that these conditions are going to improve as we head into in the afternoon and the temperatures begin to climb a little bit. So that'll be a little bit of good news, is that we should begin to see some improvement. But for the time being, you really should not be out on the roads. It is just simply not safe to be out on the roads this morning. It's a Saturday. It's cold. It's winter precipitating outside. Honestly, there's no excuse to be out. Is the roads going to get worse as we go through the weekend? So on the contrary, Joy, I actually think the roads will probably get a little bit better as we head into the later part of the day today. And then as we head into Sunday, they'll get worse again Sunday night and then early into Monday morning. I'm out of coffee. That is unfortunate. I've already had 2 cups today, but I think we're going to need more. Flo says just sleet and ice in Leicester in West Limestone County. I know where Leicester is over there in Limestone County. But yes, Joy, I actually think we'll see a little bit of improvement, but you're also right, Joy. I did talk about how we are likely going to have a rough Monday because we could get some flash freezing overnight Sunday into Monday morning, okay? And then Monday afternoon, temperatures are not going to rise above freezing. And we were talking about this on Fox 54 News last night, and we also talked about it on my Facebook Live last night, how I think the biggest impact from this entire event is probably going to come Sunday night and then through the day on Monday, because again, road conditions are going to improve as we head into the afternoon, as temperatures begin to warm up and we begin to see a little bit of rain develop across the Tennessee Valley. But then we're going to be talking about the potential for some more widespread black ice Sunday night and then early into Monday morning. And that's something we're going to want to be very cognizant of as we progress. I don't want us to get any sort of false hope. I don't want us to get any sort of false hope. I switched the graphic and I was just paying attention to the car here that looks like it's having some problems on the access road. I'm going to pin this in Teams and let my staff know that there appears to be, hopefully somebody in the newsroom is actually watching this right now, but there appears to be a car that is having some car difficulties there on the access road. Hopefully they're okay. But I wanted to give you a live look at the parkway. We're looking southbound on Memorial Parkway. Teresa, good morning from Hazel Green, she says. So I wanted to give you a look at the parkway. Now the parkway is closed, okay? Like the actual parkway is closed. The access road this morning is open, so that's what you can see that the cars are using this morning to get out and about. And they are moving much slower, as they should be, these cars that have chosen to be out this morning. Jared says, Jordan, the roads are really bad. If the roads are really bad Monday morning, will you fly me into work at the hospital in your Fox 54 helicopter? I need a helicopter. That'd be really cool. Jared, I might recommend reaching out to Rocket City Wranglers if you haven't already. As a matter of fact, if you go to fox54.com, Jared, there should be a link to sign up with the Rocket City Wranglers. I know they're giving healthcare professionals rides into work if they need to. Honestly, your truck would normally be great, but in this case, I don't think so unless you want to weigh down the back. If you can put something in the bed of the truck to give it some weight, then I think that would assist you. But anywho, so live look at the parkway, and I would imagine the access road is slick. That gentleman there appears to be facing the opposite direction on the access road. I don't want to spend too much time on them. Hopefully they're okay and they can get their car moving again. But I also wanted you to acknowledge the fact that cars are moving slower and the parkway is closed. And you can kind of see here, if we're looking at the parkway, you can kind of see how we're maybe dealing with this thin sheet of ice. I had a couple of coworkers who came into work this morning. I have one coworker that lives in South Huntsville. He said the roads were quite slick. So that's something we're obviously going to continue to pay attention to. This is a live look at 431 on Governor's Drive. Of course, 431 Governor's, whatever you choose to call it. Don't see a whole lot of traffic. I was kind of hoping a car was going to come by. Now, I know 431 was pre-treated. I don't know to what extent that has held up. I would imagine that's probably held up reasonably good, considering we haven't seen any liquid precipitation yet this morning. So I would imagine that that's held up pretty good. Here comes a car. Here comes a couple of cars. And both of those cars look like they are moving reasonably fast. So if we're looking here, those cars just came from Huntsville. So they're heading up and over so they're driving south on 431. We're kind of looking down into the city of Huntsville. So all of those cars are driving south down into Owens Crossroads. And it would appear that those cars were moving with a rather high rate of speed. So I'm kind of wondering, I cannot zoom in on this camera, but I'm wondering if the pre-treat is working at least on 431. Now, my work, Fox 54, they mentioned this earlier. Providence, Maine. Okay, so you have that hill there, Providence, Maine, that puts you out on 72. That is a reasonably sized hill, and you can kind of see here from this video, there's a number of cars that are stuck. It looks like one, two, maybe a third car there is stuck trying to get up that hill. There's another car there trying to get up the hill. That is actually a rather steep hill if you think about it. So, and you can really see here on the road, this from our reporter Logan Alexandra out in Providence in West Huntsville, that this roadway just kind of appears to be a thin sheet of ice. And so that truck, that car, they're not going to be able to get up there. Bethany says, hello from Higdon. Hello, Bethany, out in Higdon. On them on this further ride. Y'all stay warm and safe. You know, that's the goal, isn't it? To stay warm and safe. But this is just another indicator that you should not be out on the roads this morning. We are talking about some pretty messy roadways across the Tennessee Valley. Now, as we progress further into your Saturday afternoon, we can kind of measure the overall societal impact across the Tennessee Valley, and it's definitely going to be the greatest over in Northwest Alabama. And again, this is kind of the same message that we've been talking about for the last several days.
It's me.
Emily has chosen to make an appearance. I didn't save your show over here, and I won't save it.
I mean, where do you have this camera? Am I invisible?
Here, Emily. Down.
Oh wait,
there's Emily. Emily
you don't keep it on.
Chosen to make a grand appearance this morning.
You don't keep it on.
What?
The OBS. I keep mine on OBS so I can like see actual real time.
Well, I like to be able to read the comments so that I can respond to the people. Don't you want to respond to the people?
I do, but you can stay live. They can hear me talk about this.
Well, come to the camera. Come on. Emily has something she'd like to share.
It's not for the people.
Oh,
it's
it's
more
okay.
of a question towards you, but
What?
they can hear because I'm going to be tossing to Atlanta.
Yes, I already told them to tune in.
So I'm thinking I'm going to start with radar. It's Julie. I'm going to start with radar and then go to this and then call her because she's got another hit at 10:15.
Right.
And then we'll come back to us. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
All right. You guys should really tune into Fox 54 at 10 o'clock this morning. We'll finish this here in the next couple of minutes, and then you should tune into Fox 54 at 10 o'clock this morning because Emily is going to be talking to a reporter at Hartsfield-Jackson, obviously over in Atlanta. I probably don't need to tell you that it's over in Atlanta. And I think that'll be some really good information there out of the Atlanta International Airport. So meteorologist Emily Owen will be talking on Fox 54. So you want to make sure you catch that. Anywho, greatest societal impact going to be across Northwest Alabama today, where they're going to continue to see more ice. The rest of us are going to transition over to liquid rain at some point. So we're going to see a little bit of improvement as we go throughout the course of the afternoon. Now, don't be getting too excited about a little bit of improvement, but we are going to see some improvement. But across Northwest Alabama, Lauderdale, Cobb, and Franklin counties, we're going to continue to see the ice develop, okay? And so what could end up happening across Northwest Alabama is we could end up getting sporadic power outages. If the ice continues to such a degree, then we might also end up getting tree limbs that could fall under the weight of that ice. So that's something we're going to want to pay attention to. Honestly, I really don't think that's going to be as big of an issue across the rest of the Tennessee Valley like it's going to be across Northwest Alabama. So here's Futurecast at 12 noon and just kind of talking about exactly what I just said here. Lauderdale, Colbert, Franklin County still talking about sleet and freezing rain, a little bit of snow up across southern Middle Tennessee. Everybody else I want you to pay attention to by the time we get to the lunch hour, Huntsville is sitting at 34 degrees. So we would be talking about maybe a little bit of liquid rain as opposed to sleet and freezing rain. So that's where the improvement is going to begin. But the improvement is not going to be area wide. Hi, Jordan. Thanks for keeping us updated on the weather. I watch you every night on the 9 o'clock news. Love your character. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So let's continue to go through Futurecast 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, later part of the afternoon, early into the evening. And this is where we're really going to begin to see the liquid rain kind of establish itself, right, across much of North Alabama. But I also want you to pay attention to the fact that in Northwest Alabama, they are still talking about sleet and freezing rain. The same can also be said up across southern Middle Tennessee. I've never read the book, but we'll make the reference. I don't even know if it's a proper reference, but it's, you know, a tale of two cities we've got going on here, right? Florence is going to be talking about sleet and freezing rain, while Decatur, Huntsville, Scottsboro, they're all going to be talking about straight liquid rain. And when that straight liquid rain begins to fall, it's going to bring some improvement to the Tennessee Valley, or at least portions of the Tennessee Valley, in that the straight liquid rain combined with the warmer air is actually going to be able to bring a significant amount of melting. But that's only going to happen where we're talking about warmer air and liquid rain. That's definitely not going to happen everywhere like Northwest Alabama, where for the most part through the rest of this afternoon and this evening, they're going to continue to talk about frozen precipitation. That could change as we head into the overnight. This particular model, and I really like this particular model, is bringing a little more liquid rain into Northwest Alabama once we get to the earliest hours of Sunday morning. Then look what happens as we head into the middle and later part of Sunday morning. This is kind of interesting, right? Where the liquid rain just kind of takes over across the entire Tennessee Valley, where we're done talking about the accumulating ice in Northwest Alabama and southern Middle Tennessee, and they kind of join the party that is the rest of North Alabama, and they get introduced to the straight liquid rain. Now, I believe there are going to be a couple of exceptions to that rule. Like, look at the forecast temperature here. Sunday morning at 7 a.m. over in Fort Payne and Albertville, those numbers are going to be below freezing. So I don't think they're going to be talking about liquid rain. And then as we move into Sunday afternoon, again, still talking about some liquid rain. At times, the liquid rain is actually going to be kind of heavy. So I think we could be talking about some ponding in the low-lying areas. A little bit of flash flooding is actually going to be possible, oddly enough, through this whole event. we're getting a little bit of literally everything this time around. Run through future temperatures, I guess. By the time we get to Monday morning, we were talking about this. This is where the big problem is going to come in, where temperatures are going to be in the mid and upper teens and lower 20s. So listen, I'm going to begin to wrap things up here because meteorologist Emily Owen is going to get on Fox 54 News. Turn on your TV to Fox 54 News and you'll be able to catch meteorologist Emily Owen's latest update. And again, she's going to be talking to someone from reporter Julie Martin out at Hartsfield Jackson. So that'll be really exciting. I'm kind of looking forward to that. So